Hi, my name is Hector Del Castillo, Chief Product Officer at BoldPM. Welcome to today's Business Intelligentsia DC Meetup. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about 5 business and data analytics platforms to watch in 2021. And this particular work is actually something that was published just recently, last month, late 2020, and highlighted 5 newer companies and what they're doing. And all of them have one thing in common. They're actually doing analytics and then automating through use of artificial intelligence, meaning that they have some sort of embedded AI engine to automate a lot of the tasks that take a lot of work when you're trying to set up a system to actually get the analytics that you're looking for. So we're going to be talking about 5 of these tools, and that's what we're going to be discussing. So these tools are emerging, and what you'll find is that they're newer tools. Many of these companies have been around for 10 years or less, when the traditional players have been around for about 15, 20 years. Some of them have been around that long. So these 5 platforms we're going to be discussing, and I'm going to go in alphabetical order, not necessarily in order of any priority, just in alphabetical order from A through Z, and then talk about some key takeaways. We're going to be doing a demo of each one as well, a very short demo, because these are all videos that are all pre-recorded. But we'll also be doing a Q&A about each one, and like to get your feedback about what you think and if you see any value in whatever it is, applications or use cases that you're doing today within your workplace and your work environment. So the first company is called Noe, and Noe is a company that offers a search-based analytics platform and integrates with Slack. So the thing is, they provide customer service through Slack. So when you turn on the free trial, because they do offer a free trial, you get a Slack channel, and you can it's almost like you have your own expert that if you have any questions as to how do I do this, I want to do this particular thing, how do I do it, you can communicate with tech support via Slack, and they'll get back to you within minutes or pretty short time, because they do have staff available making sure they're monitoring their Slack channel, and that's how you can communicate with them. I thought it was kind of innovative to actually already have Slack included with the plan, because as opposed to you having to go to some knowledge base or help center, and most of them, if you are like me, whenever I go to somebody's knowledge base, I'm looking and typing in different queries, and I'm not finding anything that is relevant. So with Slack, you actually get a live person, and it's not necessarily a chat now capability. It's an asynchronous way of communicating, but at least you get back information, and you can at least let them know that you're looking for information, and for them to provide you a link. And if you can go off and do whatever else you need to do, come back later when you have an answer, you can at least review the information so that you can actually get the things that you want done effectively without having to be on hold or be waiting for somebody to get back to you. These are the people that this is their main claim to fame. So, well, also the other thing is that Noe already includes natural language BI, meaning that it's a low code or no code solution. You're just typing in what you want it to do, and it just does it, because it really learns about, based on your queries and what you're typing, what it is that you want to do. And we'll actually show a demo of this, because we have that available, and it's a short demo, but I want to make sure that we go through the remaining four before we actually do the demos. So Noe is the first one, and it's a newer company. I believe have been around. They were founded in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. So let me go to the next one, and we'll talk about the next one. The next one is Mode Analytics. And Mode Analytics lets you run advanced analysis by switching between a cloud-based SQL editor, Python, and R notebooks, and also interactive visualizations. It's got a built-in SQL editor that allows you to share and search and do search analysis and be able to set definitions while reports are being updated automatically. So it lets you do things on the fly without having to do much coding at all. And dashboard includes things like displaying calculated fields, do drag and drop analysis and custom visualizations. So it's almost like having, a Power BI or Tableau without having to have those tools immediately available. And automatically you get mobile responsive type of renditions on any analysis that you're doing with no coding. And the notebooks allows you to stash away, just like you would do on Evernote if you're an Evernote user. All of this analysis that you're doing, you're putting them in different notebooks, because you might have a notebook for accounting, a different notebook for development, and a different notebook for supply chain. All these different things that are part of a business function, you can have a notebook for, and you can stash away the different analysis that you're doing for various departments. And it's all available from the same cloud environment. So that's Mode Analytics. The next one is Outlier AI. And Outlier AI is an automated business analysis platform that helps you look at unexpected patterns and look at relationships between your data sets that you have using an AI engine and also machine learning. It's designed to collect and monitor data in real time, and then through the AI and machine learning, it actually adds metadata automatically so that you can start creating structured data from even loosely structured data that you're ingesting. And before you put it into a bigger platform, you can actually at least ensure that it identifies some patterns that before you can actually start analyzing it even further. And some of these will include a number of different data sources that are already available. You can basically add a stream of data from third-party databases or third-party sources, and allows you to start already collecting that, start looking at associations between different data sets that are coming from different sources. So again, the big breakthrough is that you have AI and machine learning both doing the automated of creating some sort of metadata as you start creating associations without you having to do any coding whatsoever. And the final one is Sigma Computing. And Sigma Computing is another cloud-based application, and it's got an intuitive spreadsheet. So those of you that are using some sort of spreadsheet today, whether it's Excel or some other spreadsheet application, this behaves like a spreadsheet application that doesn't require you to do any coding. You would manipulate your data just like you would do in a spreadsheet, and then automatically get different kinds of visualizations. And you can do it off of data that has no SQL, as well as you can create dynamic charts, graphs, and dashboards. So it's almost like it's trying to emulate what Power BI does today. Because if you're familiar with Power BI, Power BI does a lot of this. I'm not really sure what their pricing plans are, but this is the people that want to basically start looking at those of you who are using spreadsheets to do much of your data analytics today. You can now start using this tool because it's the data is no different. You can actually see it. It'll feel and look like you're using another spreadsheet, and then start creating visualizations and graphs and dashboards very easily that are dynamic dashboards. So that's Sigma Computing and the fifth tool itself. And it allows you to start doing visual data modeling and also creating dynamic dashboards without doing much coding at all. You're all doing is straight supported spreadsheet manipulations on your data sets. So that's Sigma Computing. And the last one is Sisu. And Sisu Data is actually a company that I think out of all of them, this one has been around the longest. And it actually it's a platform for structured data, and it automates manual exploration so that you can find associations without having to do a lot of coding. It's actually another no-code or low-code solution that allows you to take your data set and start looking for visualizations very quickly right off the shelf without having to do a lot of hard work. And a lot of this information, we're going to be looking at the demos for each one of these, and I will show you where this is at. And I'm going to be sharing this entire deck with you. I have hyperlinks to where you can get more information about each one of these 5 different companies that I just went over, and also additional information on other reports that we talked about in recent meetups, but they're here so you can actually start for doing further reading if you want to do a little more investigation regarding some of these tools and alternatives to these tools. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm actually going to be switching over to my browser, because I do have this on what is going to be a post-event page for today's meetup, and I already have embedded some canned demos for each one of these five tools, and I'm just going to display that that page. So this page will become the post-event page for today, and you will have the video of today's discussion embedded in here at some point after today's live meetup. But I already have included some canned demos that are very short. And if you want each one of these vendors, you can go to their website and request a free demo, because they all offer a free demo, which is very typical for these type of tools. So you can learn more about capabilities. If you have any questions about specific use cases or applications, you can find out more from them by requesting a more in-depth demo from them. So I'm just going to play each one of these at a time, and they're actually laid out in order. So we'll start with the first one I spoke about earlier. And this is Noe. This is an overview about Noe. And I want to make sure that before I do this, I can share my sound and go into full screen mode. I will be sharing a link to this page. And in here, I will have the video for today's meetup, but also I'll have this particular, it already has the embedded demos. And I chose specifically on purpose short demos, because we didn't have time to do a longer demo on each one of these 5, because it would just be time consuming. But I did want to make sure that at least you would get at least an overview of each one of these 5 tools that we are looking for. If you're interested in a deeper demo, let me know, because I can focus on finding someone that can actually come in and do a demo, a more in-depth demo of any of these tools. So if any of these appeals because of the use cases that are featured, you can actually let me know, and we can see if we can find someone that can come in and do a more in-depth demo. And it would help if you can tell me the kind of use cases or applications that you're looking to do with the tool, so that I can request those specifically as I approach any of these companies with a demo for us. So are there any questions? I wanted to go back to the Q&A portion and ask, do you guys have any questions about the 5 tools we covered? I think we have gone over all of them, and I'll share a link to the article where all 5 of these companies were featured, and this was about a month ago. And I'll point you to information that has more in-depth demos of these particular tools. Are there any questions, comments? I wasn't really sure if you guys have anything. You guys can either type something in. I see that, Dunky, you have some questions about Noe. And so one of the questions that I see here on the chat is, can Noe output the data to any other database? And I believe that once you have done something, and because it is a dynamic, you can actually, right now it's not really manipulating. Everything is in the app. So if you can think about Noe being an application by itself, the fact that it doesn't require you to do the ETL of data, it just means that it's just doing read only, not necessarily writes. Many of these tools allow you to start doing this modeling and without making any changes to your current databases, because normally once you publish those changes, it really is that you have to get an approval to make sure that you're not going to be breaking something that's already working. And normally that takes additional testing. So you don't want to be applying this on live data sets often you might need to have replicated data sets or a data lake if you want to publish this to ensure that you're not breaking any other existing applications. So sometimes it depends on the number of other applications that are already working, and depending on what you have done, and this may be your IT department or your analytics, the people that are responsible for implementing analytics type of use cases, you might need to do quite a bit of testing before you can actually implement the changes on your live data sets. So we can actually, I think it would be a great question to ask with the people when they're with the more technical folks as to what are their customers, what is a typical deployment in their environments with their customers.
Truly, Novi claims that they have a database inside. They were saying that that they are storing their results, whatever. So my question was like, may not be right back to the same database. Rather, if they have it in there, if they are persisting it in their database, that database, does it support something like a ODBC access or a JDBC access to that database using other, so that we can pull the data into other BI tools, other ways of, because most of the time, most of my clients, they have standardized on the traditional BI platform when they want to deliver it to the business. And all the modern tools, they are only using them as a data exploratory layer. They just want to explore the data and find out the trends and all that. And then when finally it comes to adopting those findings, they are going back to enterprise data suite like that. So if they have ODBC, if they provide ODBC access as a data provider, then that solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that usually the tools that have their own database, yes, you can publish to their own database, and you're actually looking at the stream of the data sets continue to be fed in. So you're actually looking at almost near real-time data, because it's actually being replicated from the data sources that you specified, and you can see how it changes dynamically moving forward once you have applied that to the data set that's already in their database itself. The issue with that is that you may not have, you don't have unlimited space. You only have so many terabytes that you can actually do. And if you're collecting a lot of information, it's going to be impossible for this to be writing and be lasting for a long time, because now you need to continue to expand and you're replicating your data coming off of something else. So often it's only as good for just like temporary things. If you want a long-term solution, you need to figure out how you can actually implement the back into a place where it's going to be more permanent, right? So I think that what this is meant to do is to just do some quick analytics of new things, new metrics that you want to gather now. And if it's going to be something that you want to collect moving forward for a long time, there's still work to be done in making sure that this is done in a way that you can actually do it without breaking anything that is already existing, and without requiring you to replicate your data in the cloud somewhere, so that you're now paying for storage just to be able to support these dynamic manipulations that you're implementing. So I think that it actually has to do with the kind of like the workflow, because it allows you to get to a response, but you may need to do something on the back end, especially if you're going to be continuing to do this on an ongoing basis for a long time, that you need to figure out how to do this without breaking already current functions that are already implemented outside of this particular application itself.
Sure.
So it allows you to quickly manipulate already existing data. That's the beauty of it, without having to do ETL. But ultimately, if you want long-term solution to whatever you're looking at, you're always going to have some storage capacity that limit that you're going to be hitting at some point.
Yep.
but that's actually that's a good point you're making, Donkey. I think it's you're spot on. The whole thing is that it allows you to do this, and it's actually in a way that it minimizes the coding that you need in order to get dynamic visualizations and dynamic reports and dashboards. That is, I think, the value proposition for this particular tool. Are there any other questions? Any other comments, questions? I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So in the post-event page, I'm going to be putting this link. The link will include the information where you can find the actual article that was published on the Solutions Review blog. And this was published just last month. It's less than a month old. These particular 5 tools that we feature today are all part of this article. And it's a quick read, so I'll include that information on our post-event page. I'll also include these other links to other things that we've discussed in the last few meetups in 2020. Many of them are talking about trends that are going to be lasting, not just this year, but for the next 5 years, so all the way through 2025. And I think it's good to have as a reference if you're interested in digging up a little bit more about the future of where the entire industry and some of these platforms are going in the next few years, and some of the applications that most of their customers are looking to support because of their business and what they want to do to continue to improve their business. And also, just an FYI, last year I launched BoldPM Academy, which is a set of live online workshops. And we actually have a schedule announced. I'll be sharing this particular URL with you guys. If you're interested in signing up, everything is on that page. All the live online workshops that are coming up. Usually it's our 2-hour workshops, and they're usually on a Friday. And you can see the schedule of upcoming workshops on the landing page that I've created. And also, if you want to get a hold of me, you have questions, you want to talk about a future topic that we can, of someone or something that we can do in the next few meetups that we're going to have the remainder of 2021, you can reach out to me. You can either contact me via email, connect with me on LinkedIn. This short URL here is going directly to my LinkedIn profile, so you can connect with me, or you can also follow me on Twitter. And that is it for today. Any questions, any additional questions? So thanks so much for attending, and hope to see you again sometime soon at our next meetup. And feel free to send any questions, any comments, either via the meetup page or direct to me via email.
Thank you, Hector.
Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and healthy.